Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, so now it is 6:36 on January 19th, and I'm going to call the special town board meeting to order, and we're going to need a roll call vote.
Reyes, I'm here.
Jones here.
Leonard here.
Church here.
All right. Clerk,
Yes, we've met open meeting law. We're compliant.
okay, very good. So now we're going to have discussion and possible action on appointing a replacement for the vacant supervisor seat. After candidate statements and 15 minutes apiece for any questions after that. And I'm going to suggest we just go down the list the way they're written.
That was how they were drawn.
Okay, they were drawn that way. Okay, so is Nicole? Yes, she is here. Very good. And thanks everybody for coming and putting your name in the hat. I appreciate it. Okay, go ahead. Yep.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. My name is Nicole Hudson, and I appreciate the chance to introduce myself to both the board and to any residents who are here or streaming this evening. My connection to the town of East Troy runs deep. My family has been part of this community for more than a century, and I grew up with a strong appreciation for the character, history, and sense of responsibility that define this place. Even as my career has taken me to different parts of the country and the world, East Troy remains and has remained a constant anchor, a place I return to, stay connected with, and care deeply about. That long-standing relationship shapes how I think about community, stewardship, and the importance of thoughtful local governance. I received both my bachelor's and my master's degrees in economics from Boston University, along with a minor in business. That educational foundation, coupled with my career experiences, has shaped the way that I approach problems, decisions, and long-term planning. Economics teaches you to analyze issues from multiple angles, to think beyond the obvious, and to consider the full range of inputs and outputs that influence an outcome. It trains you to visualize potential scenarios, weigh trade-offs, and anticipate second and third order effects, skills that I believe are essential in local government, where decisions often have multiple ripple effects across departments, budgets, and residents' daily lives. My education and career have also instilled discipline in data-driven thinking. It encourages me to ask the right questions, challenge assumptions, and look for the underlying structure of a problem rather than reacting to surface-level symptoms. It has taught me patience, systems thinking, and the importance of balancing short-term needs with long-term sustainability. All of this guides how I evaluate information, how I communicate, and how I make decisions. Professionally, I've spent the majority of my career in the financial industry, working in process design, regulatory compliance, risk management, and operational oversight. Much of my work has centered on ensuring that organizations operate with clarity, accountability, and adherence to both policy and law. I'm accustomed to evaluating complex information, identifying risks, and making decisions that balance immediate needs with long-term impact. A significant part of my career has also been dedicated to process improvement and operational design. I've worked extensively on building and refining processes that are both effective and efficient. My approach is generally grounded in three principles: clarity, control, and continuous improvement. An effective and efficient process ensures it truly accomplishes the underlying purpose while respecting time, resources, and the people that are involved. Strong controls are meant to prevent errors, protect against risk, and create consistency. Controls aren't about bureaucracy, they're about building reliability and trust in the system. Finally, good reporting provides early visibility into potential issues and trends, allowing informed decisions before small concerns become larger problems. I've also led teams, managed cross-functional projects, and worked in environments where communication, structure, and steady leadership is essential. Those experiences have reinforced the value of listening carefully, asking very thoughtful questions, and approaching challenges with both practicality and respect. What draws me to this interim role is the opportunity to support continuity and stability during a period of transition, and I'm prepared to step in quickly to support the board's work without disruption. I believe effective local government depends on clear communication, organized decision-making, and a commitment to representing the interests of all residents. My approach to leadership is steady, collaborative, and grounded in fact. My thought process is analytical and systems-focused. I look at the inputs, outputs, and potential ripple effects so decisions are balanced and practical. I value open dialogue, thoughtful problem solving, and ensuring that people feel informed and represented even when decisions are complex or perspectives differ. East Troy is a community with a very strong identity and a great deal of civic pride. I believe that responsible governance plays a key role in maintaining that. I believe that if selected for this interim position, my goal would be to support the board's ongoing work, uphold the standards and expectations of the role, and help ensure a smooth and stable path to the April election. If selected, I'm committed to serving with steadiness, transparency, and respect for the community that we all care about. Thank you again for your time and consideration. I would be honored to serve the town in this capacity, and I welcome any questions that you may have for the next 9.5 minutes.
9.5, you've been keeping track too?
I'm exhausted.
I have a question.
Yes.
I actually have 4, but I'm gonna start.
Okay.
How many Town of East Troy board meetings have you attended either in person or virtually, roughly?
I'd say since I moved back full-time to the town about 4 years ago, probably about somewhere between 10 and 15 maybe? But I don't know for sure. I have not kept count.
I'm not holding you
Yes.
to that. What prior government knowledge or experience do you have?
So my government knowledge and experience is mostly within regulated industries, both working for law firms as well as the financial industry. So I work very closely through compliance and regulation in terms of ensuring that companies are following whatever regulations they fall under. So for example, banking with the FDIC, or if it's a locally chartered bank, for example, in Illinois, it's the IDFPR. So depending on whether it's a federal regulation, I work on all the federal regulatory items in helping to ensure that in the banking industry as well as other industries, we align to those rules and regulations. I also do a lot of metrics and reporting on things where we need to be able to report that back to government to tell them, yes, we are within the required bands of whatever that item might be. And then as new rules and regulations come out, which in 2025 and earlier was quite a bit in the banking industry. We had a lot going on. It is really about reading all of those rules and regulations, determining what is applicable or not applicable, and determining the best path forward to make sure that we are aligning with what we need to align to.
I have 2 more, but I'll let you guys go.
Do you have any?
I do. Can you describe a time where you had to make an unpopular decision? And how do you communicate and manage the aftermath?
So I also have background in change management and change leadership. So I have been in numerous positions where I come in to implement new processes, which generally speaking, lots of people see as a potential to lose their job. And when you are in a position where people don't necessarily understand at the forefront what the benefits are of the changes that are coming, you are seen not necessarily as the best person in the world to them. And so when, for example, we implemented at a mutual fund company a new system to manage a specific process that required everything from the marketing world all through all of the legal and compliance requirements for supervisory products, and just following all the rules of the laws of what kind of disclosures and things like that are required on materials. Many people were very comfortable in how they were doing things and felt that it protected their job to know as the only person what they were doing. I was able to come in and work very closely with people to understand what it was they were doing, design processes to support that while building in controls to ensure our compliance with different rules and regulations, and also helping to ensure them that we were going to move forward in a way that was best for the company as well as for them, in terms of how can we adjust things to their skill set and really make best use of their skills to move forward versus doing more administrative type work. So by working very closely with individuals and explaining the benefits and the reasons behind things and answering questions and generally being available and present to work through things with people, that is how in the past I have worked to help to improve the adoption of change over time.
Okay, I know there's more questions.
Yeah. Can I go?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here.
Are you aware of the budget we presented back in November 24, the PowerPoint presentation that we put on?
I have not seen the PowerPoint presentation of 2024, but I would happily go
25.
look at it.
It was, well then let's go with, let's look at another question. If you were on the board, how would you approach two competing realities? Doing the will of the people versus making decisions in the best interest of the town of East Troy. These two realities may not always align, but they are both in the interest of the citizens. How would you approach this type of challenging situation and effectively communicate this to the public?
So first and foremost, I would do my research to understand what that particular issue at play is. Then I would, again, do research both in doing my own analytical research as well as talking to, if there are experts available, getting their information, talking to members of the board as well as members of the public to understand where people are coming from, and listening to public comments during open sessions to understand what the differences are, and really get to the root of what is the separation between what might be best for the town versus what residents are most interested in. Based on that, it would really depend on what those differences are and being able to work through where is the best value long-term and what is the best sustainability long-term, and really making sure that I look at it from the perspective of, we may be able to make a quick decision today that short-term is the best path forward, that if we don't think about the long-term sustainability and the ripple effect of those decisions, we could be causing more harm than good. So really about finding the right avenues for research on a particular issue, understanding where the gap is between the town and residents, and then working forward from there based on what that information provides.
Jason, do you have one? Question? No? Anyone else?
I don't think I can add anything to anything, other than
How much time?
you have to follow the law and all that. too.
Yes.
That's a big
Got
thing.
2.5 minutes.
With all the town board is done, how do you plan to bring yourself up to speed with the current town issues?
So I feel that have been involved recently in listening to a number of board meetings to understand some of the town issues. I would also go back to review and reread packets, see what's been on the agendas, make sure that I am aware and informed of what's been listed previously, and where appropriate, go to some of the town YouTube videos to rewatch any public comments that may have occurred, as well as reach out to members of the board to see their availability and interest in answering questions if they arise and providing guidance on, I would be new to this role. So as with anybody, what were your things that you wish you'd known in your first few days or months on the board, and where would you recommend I spend time focusing on my own education in ensuring that I'm up to speed?
If you had to choose the top 2 or 3 things to tackle at the town, based on what you know today, what would they be?
I'd say that is a very challenging question for an interim supervisor position that would be about 2 months long, because there is gonna be the up ramp of getting educated and a very short-term seated position before an electoral vote would replace whoever is selected in the interim. So I would not necessarily come in 2 months with an expectation that I would pick top 3 things to move forward and really take action on, because of the short time frame and the fact that I am being selected potentially by the board versus being an elected candidate.
How would you handle pressure from passionate opposing groups to reach a fair and enforceable decision?
I think the most important thing is to listen. And I think that everyone can get very passionate about things where emotions can become very high, which can be very positive. I mean, I think it's great that people are passionate about the things that they care about. And it's important that we, I'm getting the countdown. It's important that we listen to all and incorporate that in the decisions that we make.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, next on the list, let me, Ken Zess.
Good evening, my name is Ken Zess. I live at West 598 Bell School Road. If I'm appointed Town of East Troy Supervisor, I can assure the residents and this board that I will be well prepared to tackle this limited role. While not physically attending, I watch lengthy monthly board meetings and am very familiar with what the board is currently dealing with. Being retired gives me the opportunity and time to do the necessary research to inform myself on the many issues this board faces, and then formulate a path that represents what is best for all residents living within the town of East Troy. Living in the town of East Troy for 50 years has provided me with an abundant amount of historical knowledge that I can draw from to help myself understand the hows and whys of the issues currently facing the board. That 50 years of knowledge would also lead me to ask the following questions if appointed. When was the last time the town board asked to review the garbage and recycling contract to determine if the current provider is the most economical for the town's residents? This contract is valued at close to $500,000. Is this service put out for bid? When was the last time the town board asked to review the legal representation provided? Are the residents getting the most value for the $65,000 we budget per year in this area? When was the last time the board asked to review the town's insurance providers to ensure that the residents are receiving the best value for their tax dollars? The same question could be asked about the assessor, building inspection, auditor, or any third-party service provider that has long-standing relations with the town of East Troy. Are the residents still receiving the best possible value, or are there different options that need to be explored? I would have similar questions on the revenue side of the balance sheet as well. Are the taxpayers receiving fair compensation for services that they provide? I understand this is only a 3-month appointment, and the answers to my questions may not be known during that time, but the conversation can still continue until the questions have been researched. The answers could determine that the current providers are giving the residents the most bang for their tax dollars, and that would be awesome. Currently, I feel we don't know what we don't know. I feel honesty and transparency in any relationship are vital. That is why I'm being open about what you can expect if I'm appointed. I will represent the town of East Troy residents with drive, determination, and hard work, the same values that have guided my life thus far. Thank you for your consideration. Any questions? Go ahead, sir.
What skill or talent do you feel would best support the town board at this point and why?
Hard work. And I do have the ability and time to do the research that's necessary to provide, at least be well informed about what's happening.
Go ahead.
Somebody else? Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to? That's fine.
Sure. how would you establish trust and authority quickly with the existing staff and community members, knowing that your role is temporary?
I feel most of the people on this board already know who I am and what I'm about, so that, I don't even think is an issue. Having served on the Parks Committee, the East Troy Fire District Board, I was instrumental in establishing the, it was Bell School Road, we did a
Rustic Road.
rustic road designation on Bell School Road. That was a project that I was involved with Michelle.
You led, yeah.
So I feel I've got plenty of experience working with the members of this board already.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a question. You're currently on the Fire District, the
Correct.
ETASD board,
Correct.
as a citizen member.
Yes.
If you were appointed to the board, now we would have 2 board members. It probably, how are you planning to handle that? And can you offer any notable accomplishments or constructive improvements that you've championed while on
I have
the board?
championed nothing, because if you would take the time to read the minutes from the fire district reports, it takes longer for me to drive there than the meetings take. There's nothing that comes before the board. We have been asked to approve nothing. We had discussion last month, talking about reevaluating the current contract between the village, the town, and the other municipalities. That was tabled until further notice because of pending areas of involvement by other municipalities would like to join our fire district. So that will be reestablished. That will be reevaluated by others in the future as other municipalities want to join our fire district.
So part of being on the board is actually putting things on the agenda and stuff. So if the meetings are short and there's nothing on the agenda, we should be putting them on. But
What
nonetheless.
would you like to see on the agenda?
I gave you a 2-page letter.
Are you
From-
dictating, are you trying to dictate to me what you'd like to see done?
No, I said there were some
Okay.
suggestions
Thank you.
of what you should be looking at. And anyway, thanks. Somebody else have a question?
I'm good.
What is your experience with budgeting, specifically when facing a deficit or revenue shortfall?
Asking these questions would be part of that.
The RFPs,
Hmm?
the,
Asking these questions, I just would like to ask, would be a part of that. There are many others. If you, I mean, we can go into details, but would that be necessary tonight?
Yep.
Okay.
Did you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, I did. Very well presented.
Any concerns or not concerned? Can you express what those might be?
I feel that is a small community that we borrow excessively. And to that point, while necessary, there are also long-term things we can look at to try to bring our budget under control. We are dictated by the state of Wisconsin through Chapter 60. There are many times we like to go outside of Chapter 60 when we do things in this town. Chapter 60 is the guide. Basic government. That's what any town is expected to provide, basic government services. That's it. No more, no less.
Do you have any more, Supervisor Church?
No, not at this time, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Okay.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Ken. Okay, Brian? All right.
Well, I didn't have a big letter that I sent, but I don't, do you guys want copies of this?
Yes, please.
All right, for the records there, I'll review them for her. All right, just a little bit about me, a little bit more than the short message for interest in the position here.
My time to start already too?
Yep, I just started it.
Oh, you did, oh boy, okay, very good going here then. My name is Brian Johnson, live on Pine Avenue in Miramar subdivision. So I've been a long-term resident of East Troy. Don't remember the exact year I moved in, 2002, 2003, so it's been 20 years, 20 plus years. Married, 28 years, 3 kids, 18-year-old son, 17-year-old twin girls, so that keeps me active. Hold an associate's degree with a major in accounting and business. I also have a bachelor's degree in accounting, business, with a minor in economics. Got 3 decades worth of professional experience over a variety of industries, things of that nature. So my overview, accounting, 33 years. Budgeting and accruals, which I think is a big part of what's happening in this township right now, got 17 years. Auditing, I've been through 14 years of audits. Compliance and regulatory management, not quite as much experience there, but I've got 7 years. Some of the companies that I've worked for where I've gained this experience, the key one would probably be Northwestern Mutual. I've worked there for, I think, a total of 15 or 17 years, somewhere around in there. I work in the accounting department working on the mutual funds, which we have quite a bit of oversight from regulatory, federal regulatory agencies. We've got the SEC, we've got FINRA. In my current position for a small telecommunications company, which is private, I deal with the FCC, I deal with the USAC, which not a lot of people know, it's the Universal Service Administrative Company, which tax on 33%, as a side note, to all of your interstate traffic on any of your phone bills, just so you know. And then I also work with the Public Service Commissions and the Public Utility Commissions. We are a nationwide telephone company, so I'm dealing with 52 states, essentially wherever we have services across the country. Going into more detail, I guess, let's see here. Capital planning, forecasting, budgeting, things of that nature. Always did accrual accounting for Northwestern Mutual. We would have to do our budgets. We would have to do, figure out our fixed income, our fixed expenses, have to go through the expenses all the time for what's going to happen. We'd have to figure out what we did in the past, figure out what we're gonna do, amortize that over the next year for all the funds to get paid out appropriately with all the expenses. Audits. I went through an audit with the SEC, Security Exchange Commission. That is a fun one, let me tell you. I don't know if anyone's experienced that, but I would not recommend it. Compliance and regulatory. Again, right now working with the FCC, USAC, the PSCs, the PUCs. They regulate the telecommunications. There's just a lot of regulations. We have to stay in compliance. We have to give reports. We do quarterly things with the FCC, with USAC. We send them, collect all the monies from the various people. We have to send it back to them. I'm not well spoken like her. Nicole? I know Ken, whatever Ken was, I know he's probably a lot more in the government than I have been. But I'm just interested to see if some of my skills from the accounting, the auditing, the budgeting, if there's some way I can help in the short interim to get things moving. Getting back to what you were talking about with the controls, the key part on the controls, processes and procedures. I didn't, until tonight, I didn't really know that there wasn't a lot of processes or procedures documented. One of the key things I look at in that, it's a living document. The key is to put a control in place. So controls prevent the mistakes. It's not saying that mistakes can't happen and won't happen. When you do make a mistake or do identify something, you need to figure out what control you're going to put in place to prevent that, because that's what helps you to grow and learn and understand the dynamics of keeping everything, the ship right, going in the correct direction. So with that, my babbling, I guess I'll open it to the board for questions.
I actually have a question.
Oh, boy.
How would you deal with sitting up here with everything that's going on in our town right now? And it sounds to me like you're more maybe behind the scenes. When someone comes up and there's a decision made and they basically get in your face and, go after you a little bit.
I've got big shoulders.
Okay.
I'm not overly concerned about that. I mean, I view
Because
it,
you have kids in the community and, you know, there's things that could be said and thrown out there and their dad is gonna be possibly on Facebook or something and someone will smear them or
Sure.
something like
My
that.
kids
This is
are
all
old
stuff that happens.
sure, my kids are old enough, my kids have the philosophy of me, and they understand that words are just words.
Okay.
I guess I haven't thought through that much with them, but I've got a strong enough conviction in my girls and my son that it's not gonna matter to them, that they'll be able to handle it.
Good.
Other questions?
Supervisor Church, did you?
Yeah, with all that the town board has recently been doing, how do you plan on educating yourself, bringing yourself up to speed with all that?
Sure, well, I have reviewed, or I go through the videos of the meetings, I read the packages that are being sent out, which is nice. So am I 100% there? Absolutely not. I don't know the day going ons and all that fun jazz, but I feel I've got a good grasp of it. I think the current direction based on some of the, the recent audit that was just done, I think that, you gotta strike while the fire's hot, or whatnot. You gotta, if the audit was done and there's things that need to be implemented, I think we need to get rolling on them. They need to start moving forward. Again, I'm not saying that throw it all out there, but you gotta start looking at what can be implemented sooner than later to start hitting some of those points that the auditors have.
Give us a specific example, if you wouldn't mind.
I don't remember all the points of the auditors, and I don't have it in front of me here right
Okay.
now. I just know that there was thing. One of the key things, I guess, would be segregation of duty. I just know, the segregation of duty, that is outstanding. I mean, that's a key thing from an accounting background and an accounting standpoint. And I think it was you, I apologize, for the cross-training. Cross-training is very, very important. And I know you, and I'm not trying to say that. From Northwestern Mitchell, from my experience, it's not that they're doing the job, but they need to understand what the job is that the other person does. And I'm not saying this, my example of this is, God forbid, Gene, I think it is right, walks out the door, gets hit by a bus.
Wins the lottery.
If there's cross-training.
Yes,
Okay, what's the lottery? I always use the bus, I don't know why I'm old school, I guess that way. What does Jen know to jump into that role? If there's cross-training, she can at least keep the ball rolling a little bit where it's not, oh my gosh, what are we doing now? Type deal. So,
Did you see the budget presentation? Did you have any concerns or no concerns, and explain to us?
from what I recall, again, I looked at it, the big part is the borrowing of money all the time, with all the shortfalls of the big projects. I think there needs to be some kind of a longer-term vision of what is potentially gonna happen 20 years from now. I mean, I should say, roads deteriorate, bridges deteriorate. Why is it, oh my gosh, we got an emergency, we gotta replace this bridge? I mean, we should be saying, hey, we just had that bridge repaired 15 years ago, we need to look at it, or we need to have it in our plan saying, hey, we know every 15 years, whatever it is, every 20 years, so we can take allocating funds for that, where we know that we've got at least, and I don't wanna call it a slush fund, but we know we've got funds set aside, so if the job's gonna be 50,000, let's say we've got 40,000 available for it, so we're only nicked for 10,000 then, instead of all of a sudden now we gotta come up with 40,000 to take care of this issue. That just, that just throws, I think, the town into disarray. If people are really looking at that stuff, I think it impacts your tax rates, because now all of a sudden we gotta raise our taxes because we didn't anticipate this. There's just so many other things that can, I guess, I don't know, that answer the question?
Yeah,
I don't remember who asked the question.
I
I
asked.
apologize.
Capital planning.
Yeah,
that's-
capital planning,
That's
yeah.
effectively what you're talking,
That's what he had.
yeah, okay.
I know. I might ask you the same question about how would you establish your trust and authority quickly with the existing staff and community in such a short-term assignment?
Very great question. It's gonna be hard to do. I look at it as to get in here, someone that's got the experience or the know-how, or at least the understanding of how to try and get some of the stuff, the ball rolling, because it's not gonna happen tomorrow. But if you can start laying the groundwork, the framework to try and get some of these initiatives moving forward, I think that goes a long way. Again, it's only a short temporary position, but at the same time, if there's something I can do to try and help get things moving in the same direction that everyone's thinking it should be, that's what would be ideal.
Thank you.
I guess I just, availability, you're available. I know like Ken's retired. I didn't.
I'm available 1 hour,
Well, are you available Monday? Well, let me just throw it out there. Are you available for 5 hours on Monday night?
no, I apologize.
Or 6
No,
hours on Saturday?
I'm jokes with her, I apologize. No,
Wait a minute, that's my job.
oh, is it, okay, well, I'm good then, I guess, won't we? No,
Get along great.
yeah, no? Sorry. No, yes, I got time. Outside of work, and that's one of the questions I kind of had for, I guess, for the board, how much time truly actually is needed? I saw the smirk on Barb's face there when she raised her eyebrow. No, I'm willing to put in the time. I work a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I don't have overtime. I've got flex time, so.
I mean, honestly, the time involved is probably 15 to 20 hours a week. 15 hours a week. For us,
week?
not for you.
A week or
No, okay, yeah.
A day?
That's
15, 20
All right, well,
hours a week.
Gives me an hour's sleep, then I guess that's good.
That seems high.
15 to 20, huh?
per week?
We were here for 5.5 hours on Monday.
Yeah, that was unusual.
And
We do one.
I get lots of phone calls.
I figured if you do 2 to 3 hours a week is what I'm figuring is average, if that sounds right, maybe 4, 5, somewhere around there. That would hit your 20 hours that you're talking about, right?
That'd be a month.
Be a month.
Oh, you're talking per week, okay. Oh, I think,
Per month.
okay.
We have
I'm
one-
available.
We have one board meeting that can go 2 to 5 hours, and then we have maybe a meeting or 2 extra in a month, and then there's outside work, whatever that
Sure,
would be.
sure.
Any other questions?
What has you interested in government?
2 minutes? Okay, sorry, I just want to make sure we're going over. Sorry.
Has you interested in government and?
I've been watching the videos. I think John probably posts most of them. I've been involved with the Informed Citizens of East Troy now on the Facebook page, and I just interested overall, and I'm at the age now, I guess if you want to call it, where I'm more involved with my community, trying to understand it, trying to see if there's things that my experience can help the board or the town move forward with. I think I would be a great resource. I think I've got good experience. Just looking to make things happen. It was interesting, and I think, if I remember, I forgot your name, but you were mentioning something about the split role. Now we can have we can do municipal bonds now. Was they do this or no? Yeah, which I think that's a great idea. I think it's a lot more cost effective than going to the bank and borrowing money there. So if there's some way that we can roll some of these things over into a bond versus paying the bank the money, that would be ideal.
We need capital planning and asset tracking before we can do that, so that's where we're heading. That's where, like, the next 3 months.
Lay the framework down.
First step
Right.
of process.
Right. Did you say you had some questions as well, Brian? Or
No.
was that the only one about the time?
Yeah, I was just, I didn't hear the dinger.
It hasn't done. You have
I didn't know.
12 seconds.
Or I would have had like a
10.
eraser thrown at me or something. Well, if there's nothing else for me, I thank you for your consideration and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for making yourself available.
Look at that, just as I'm walking
There you
back.
go.
Perfect.
So at this point, do we want to make an appointment, motion, or how do we want to proceed? I open it up to the board.
Can we still have those, should we like write names down or something
Oh,
and see who,
on the ballot.
However you guys
on a
want.
ballot and see who, out of the three, who comes up with the most, or?
I don't,
However
I don't,
you guys
I don't- I don't care if that's what you
I
want.
think we also have to consider that this is 2.5 months, and that, as it was discussed a year ago, the board certainly can operate with more. That is certainly within our purview.
Yes, it is. So would you?
Are you,
I'm just throwing that out there for consideration as well. 2.5 months, that's a lot to expect from somebody to get up to speed as well. Just throwing that out there
It
as
would
well.
be full 3 months worth of activities, because we
Totally
start
understand.
February, March, and April. So, I mean, again, I'll open up to the board. I'm not gonna set a direction here. I think we should probably have someone sit in the seat. I think there's a lot to discuss. I would really think we need to get into the financial aspects of things in some workshops in the next 2 months, so that we can start looking at where our revenue shortfall can be improved. I mean, we've got a lot of work to do. I think we should get that started sooner than later. So my vote is to probably put somebody in there if we can.
All right, I'll step it out there. Yeah, I think, obviously, we came this far and we asked these people to spend this
Right,
time
yes.
and this investment. I think the intent was to find someone, after hearing the discussion today. I do value and appreciate the experience that Brian could bring to the board, would be, my input. So I think the planning, I think the capital planning is a big thing. It sounds like you have experience there. And spent some time getting yourself familiar. Well, capital planning is a big thing for me.
I think Nicole offers that as well. I think her finance background and the way that she approaches the processes has a lot to offer as well. Ken has the government experience of sitting on committees with the town board, and has definitely been at meetings and, you know, is well versed in what's going on.
Yeah, not to
Not
say
taking
the other,
away from
the
anybody.
other candidates, like everyone has something that they bring to the table. Yeah, I absolutely acknowledge Ken's previous involvement and familiarity, and Nicole's history in the town. But, so. We have to make a decision, right?
I like all three of them too.
Well, we have to make a decision.
You're up to 7.
So do we want to do a paper ballot here? Do you want
However
to
you guys
do,
want to do it, if someone wants to
do
make a
you want to just
motion.
make a motion and second and do a vote? How do you want to handle it? I'm open however the board feels fit.
Well, I'm stuck between really two, but,
I'll make a motion, to fill the current vacant supervisor seat, with Brian Johnson, which is in effect until the April annual meeting of the electors.
I'll
Yeah.
second.
And just so everybody knows, in this vote, Clerk Treasurer Loth also votes.
No, she doesn't, because she's not a resident. She doesn't live in the town of East Troy, so
Oh.
that doesn't allow her to vote. The
We're
only
not in
reason
the
why-
electors
We're,
meeting.
we're not, this is,
Oh,
This is a
position.
special town board meeting.
my bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is, the clerk treasurer does vote in this case of replacing
Okay.
someone. So I just wanted to make everybody understand that. So we have a first and a second. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor? Opposed?
Nay,
All right.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, how did
I
you?
did, I voted aye.
Okay, so 4-1. Okay, so the motion passes 4-1. Welcome to the board. Thank you both for coming and presenting.
Thank you for your time.
Welcome aboard. Yes, all right. I don't know if I'm.
Do you have further business?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We've seen a lot of you.
So, now we have discussion and possible action regarding the decision made by the electors at the special meeting.
Can you pause for just a moment?
Sure, I can pause.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Can we-
ladies and gentlemen, I just have a quick question because we carried over on our sign-in sheet. I'm making note of the people that stayed for this meeting. I don't know your name.
Robert Wagner.
Okay, thank you.
I'm at the very end.
Okay. And then a couple people got out on me already. Okay. And I do. Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, so we'll move to the next item. Item 4, discussion and possible action regarding the decision made by the electors at the special meeting of the electors earlier this evening to separate the clerk and treasurer position. I think we do need to probably have a motion to go out and start putting a search out.
Post the job.
Post the job,
Right.
right, and do we need
And just
a,
a quick review and edit of the description.
yes, yes.
And just to the point that was made during the meeting, regardless of the size of a municipality, unless we start talking about 2,500 and more, some of the rules, there's still the same reporting to the Department of Revenue, to Wisconsin trust funds, things like that, county reports, Department of Administration, DNR reports. The size of the municipality does impact that to some degree, but the responsibilities of reporting are almost identical for townships from one size to another. There's just a few exceptions in how things happen when we hit to that 2,500 mark for things that can be allowed and not allowed. And certainly, yes, this was simply a template to get the idea out there of the roles. It was never meant to be what would be posted. Certainly it'll be edited to suit the town also and our needs, along with what the requirements are statutorily for the positions.
The objective was to move fast so we can help get somebody for her. Secondly, we didn't want her doing all that work, so it got put together by the board. So sorry for the edits in the documents, but so I think based upon what you have said, Clerk Treasurer Loth, that you're leaning towards the treasurer role, right? So we would then want to go out and put a posting for a clerk, correct?
If the board would see me in that position as a treasurer. I don't want to presume anything. I know it's been discussed over time and since Clerk Treasurer Buchanan's resignation. However, that would be.
See, I don't think though that we
Wants to move forward.
can't appoint you to that position now.
No,
and you,
Not yet.
And
No.
we can't even say that necessarily. So that's why I'm just trying to have an open dialogue. So I think the motion has to be to post the clerk position. Do we also need to have a board approval of a range for salary at this point?
No,
I
No?
think you put it with the posting.
yeah.
Just as a posting, go with that now? All right.
Oftentimes people will look for a range in a posting, but I guess it's not required.
And it's based upon experience. It's going to be heavily based on experience, so.
And if they're already like an experienced clerk, they probably know how to look it up.
Yeah,
Being a municipal role, what the previous clerk treasurer rate.
right. So,
So I'll make a motion to review and edit the draft posting and then for the clerk position and post it in the appropriate locations.
we listed a few of them there. I did not come up with any more. I have feelers out, but hopefully I can still find out
Yeah,
some.
and that's several good locations.
Yeah, okay. So do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion on the posting? All in favor?
Anyone interested in helping to edit or?
Yeah,
When do we anticipate that being posted? Do we have a ETA?
as soon as possible, that's all I know.
I would
Have
say maybe
Give me-
shooting for a goal of early next week,
Do
giving
we,
time this week for any input from, being able to share.
the Municipal Clerks Association, have we approached them about getting verbiage from them? Because that they might be able to facilitate this in a more rapid fashion.
I can certainly reach out, and I know that through the clerk's list, there are job postings that come through, and ladies and gentlemen that ask, other clerks that are asking for, hey, we need a new clerk, anybody got a good job description?
Right.
And those are out there. I can certainly put that word out and go back through all of my deleted emails and stuff to see what there
The
is.
posting that is in the packet came from the clerks. It
Oh.
obviously wasn't one for East Troy, so it had to be
Sure.
adjusted for that, but it
Oh.
primarily came from the clerks.
Municipal clerks.
Yeah, it came from there as a
Not the
starting
TA.
point, again, rather than a clean sheet of paper for clerk treasurer both. It was helpful to have something, and if we get something launched sooner than later, that would be that much quicker, we'll get a clerk. So any other discussion? All-
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So we'll go out for that posting. Is there anything more we need to do on the electors meeting? I think that's, should be everything we need.
Do we have to authorize Attorney Mills to somewhere separate the rules?
Oh, yeah, there's gonna,
Create a
that's,
resolution
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
we probably do need that to authorize. And then is there
Yeah, it's just
places,
possible action.
there's gonna be places in ordinance and everything that needs to be probably
Modified.
modified, right? So we'll do I'll make a motion to authorize Attorney Mills to draft a resolution.
Can we do that even though it's not noticed?
It's noticed to take action regarding the decision made at the electors' special meeting.
Okay.
So I would assume that's an action from,
And we had a precedent the last meeting on the 12th where he allowed that to take place, so I don't know if I finished the motion.
I'm sorry.
No, where was I?
draft resolution.
Draft a resolution.
Resolution to separate the clerk and treasurer role.
I'll second that.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so we'll have him do that, and then we need one more for him to
We can do
review.
that at the next
Okay.
meeting. Or we can review the rest of our ordinances and stuff.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Right, until the role's filled,
Right, we've got time.
Yeah.
It's not like we gotta do it tonight.
yeah.
Okay, so the last item on the list here is the Horton Group insurance proposal. And I think this has not really, that I know of, has not been before the board before, but after some discussion with Attorney Mills, it was sort of suggested to bring it to the board and at least get an approval.
Certainly because of the dollar amount. With that said, I did send out a copy of the contract, or the authorization to bind coverage, and the proposal by the Horton Group. Historically, I asked them to send me what was done last year, and it was signed by Clerk Treasurer Buchanan at that time. I looked through minutes and so forth from meetings leading up to that, and never found that there was anything that was brought before the board for that approval. I think it was just a continuous maintenance of the insurance.
With that being said, do we have time to get other quotes?
It is required, it needs to be signed by the 26th of January.
Next week.
That is why I added it tonight. And I certainly understand that concern.
I'm assuming this is annual.
Yes,
Can we take it out for 6 months?
I would have to ask that question. It's not crazy greater than last year. Last year was 54,000, this year it's 67, and I'm rounding. Rounding down, rounding up, so that you get a better picture. And the reason for that, when I asked, was that because of the different insurance claims through the township over the last 12 months and historically.
And the coverages are satisfactory? Did the attorney say anything about it, or?
He was not able to review either.
Okay.
I have some concerns that if we go with a 6-month policy, that the rate will be escalated dramatically, and that would not benefit us.
Can we approve this and just put it on the list of things to do for next year to get a
I
second?
would like to do that.
Yeah. Are you okay with that?
And obviously it's in the budget already, or?
Yeah.
I'm
And it's
certain
budgeted for
that,
the extra 14,000?
that I can't speak to. I don't know if she had a proposal from them when she prepared the budget.
I did not look at the budget to see. Do you have it?
I don't think so, because this was January 12th.
I didn't bring my full binder.
I had my other binder out earlier tonight, and I was looking at it actually, but I
So-
didn't have this in my packet to
With
go
insurance,
through.
you can change, right? You can cancel if we
It'd be
put
nice to be
bids
able
out.
to s-
As long as we put this in place, you can always switch
It's
to
another-
insurance.
Yeah, there's
position we've been put into.
Yeah. Is there any, like
So, yeah, we can.
if you cancel the
Yeah,
policy,
Yeah, I would let, I mean, if
You
you
can
can
usually-
approve it and then
Right.
look at it, right?
Yeah. There's like not a penalty for canceling, I don't think. They would have to reimburse you.
we don't know that, right?
I don't know.
We don't.
No.
But it's something we could look into.
Right.
And if it has to go to next year, it goes to next year, but if we can do
Right.
something ahead, that's fine. So,
I'll make a motion to authorize clerk treasurer Loth to sign the renewal with the Horton Group for the 2026 town insurance proposal.
Second.
any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I won't ask for any discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.